Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to today's explainer. So today we're tackling a math topic that honestly usually sounds way more intimidating than it actually is. And that's multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. But don't worry, we're going to break this all down using a super practical, really straightforward method.
Right off the bat, I want you to remember our promise. This is going to be an absolutely easy method. Seriously, if you've ever felt completely stuck by fractions, just take a deep breath. You've got this. The journey ahead is simple, it's highly practical, and it's just a fantastic tool to keep in your back pocket.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. First up, we'll look at basic fraction multiplication. Then we'll move right into multiplying mixed numbers. And finally, we'll apply all of this to some real-world time problems. Let's dive in. All right, section 1, basic fraction multiplication, where we are going to focus on actually visualizing the math. Let's jump right into our first problem. We have 4 multiplied by 1/2. Now, I know when a lot of us see a multiplication sign sitting right next to a fraction, panic sets in. But we really don't need to panic. Think about it. If you just read it out loud, all it literally means is we're asking for 4 separate halves. You know, it really helps to picture this in your head. Imagine taking a few rectangles and just slicing them perfectly down the middle. What do you get? Well, you get 1/2, a second half, a third half, and a fourth half. When you see it laid out like this, it kind of turns this abstract math problem into a simple inventory check. We just need to gather all these pieces up. So let's gather them. First, we literally just add those parts together. 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. Since the denominators, the bottom numbers, are all exactly the same, we just add the top numbers together. That gives us 4/2. And finally, we simplify. Remember, a fraction is basically just a mini division problem in disguise. So 4 divided by 2 just gives us the nice, clean whole number of 2. And boom, there's our final answer. 4 multiplied by 1/2 equals 2. But why does this actually matter? Well, let's bring in a real-world example from our source material. Imagine you're out there measuring land, and you have 4 sections that are each 1/2 meter long. By doing this quick math, you've just figured out that your total plot length is exactly 2 meters. See, it's practical, it's easy, and it's incredibly useful. Moving right along to section 2, multiplying mixed numbers. We like to call this the strategy upgrade. Now, let's see how this actually builds on what we just learned. Our next challenge is multiplying the mixed number 2 2/3 by the whole number 3. Okay, I admit it looks a little chunkier, right? Mostly because we've got a whole number attached to a fraction right at the start. But we have a very clever trick to just flatten this problem right out. The absolutely crucial point here is step 1. Before we even try to multiply, we convert that mixed number into an improper fraction. 2 whole parts? Well, that's exactly the same as 6/3. Add that to the 2/3 we already have, and we get 8/3. Simple as that. So 2 2/3 becomes 8/3. Next, we set up the new equation, 8/3 multiplied by 3. And guys, step 3 is the payoff. We've got a 3 multiplying on the top and a 3 dividing on the bottom. We can basically use a math cheat code here and just cancel those 3's out. They literally erase each other. Once you cancel out those 3's, what's left? Just the number 8. Seriously, we took this intimidating-looking mixed number, converted it, canceled out the common factors, and ended up with a beautiful, clean whole number. Just like that, you are upgrading your math strategies perfectly. Super easy, right? All right, that brings us to section 3, real-world time problems. You can definitely consider this the boss level. So this is where we finally bridge the gap between abstract fractions on a whiteboard and the real world of tracking our time. Here's our scenario for today. A student named Bino spent 1 2/5 hours practicing. Our mission? We need to figure out exactly how many minutes that is. Now, to solve this, we just need our standard anchor point, which we all know. There are exactly 60 minutes in 1 hour. Actually, fun fact, we have the ancient Babylonians to thank for dividing our hours into 60 minutes. And we're going to use their ancient system as our primary conversion tool today. We already know that Bino's 1 whole hour is just 60 minutes. That's the easy part. So let's isolate the tricky part, the fraction. First, we just grab that fraction part, which is 2/5. Next, we multiply that fraction by our 60 minutes to figure out what 2/5 of an hour really is in minutes. So, 2/5 multiplied by 60. Now let's do the math together. 60 divided by 5 is 12, right? And 12 times 2 is 24, which means 2/5 of an hour calculates out to exactly 24 minutes. Okay, look at that. We've successfully isolated the two elements of Bino's practice time. We've got item 1, the whole hour, which is our 60 minutes. And we've got item 2, the fractional part we literally just calculated, which is 24 minutes. Now to get our grand total, we just need to bring these two isolated pieces back together. It's super simple from here. We take those 60 minutes and we add our 24 minutes. 60 plus 24 gives us a nice solid sum of 84.
Which brings us to our final answer. Bino practiced for exactly 84 minutes. See how well that works? By just isolating the whole number from the fraction, you can so easily apply this math to literally any real-world time calculation. Now, before we officially wrap up, I want to put your new strategy to the test. If 1 2/5 hours is 84 minutes, how many minutes do you think are in 2.5 hours? Seriously, grab a piece of paper right now and see if you can solve it.
Bye, students. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun math videos.